Martin, I couldn't help but be struck today listening to the press conference by a speech that you gave to Mary McAleese on Irishness, and there was an anecdote in that as a 6-year-old in 1958 travelling to Croke Park, a 6-hour journey, and I couldn't help but be struck by the contrast in the journey that we've made here today, and yet at the same time they both strike me as you kind of coming home a little bit.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you to say so. I think that, gosh, I didn't think you would remember that. Yeah, I went to Croke Park as a 6-year-old, and with my mother on a bus, a long journey. At that time, it was my brother was playing for Derry in the All Ireland final, and he was only 18 years of age at the time as well too. So we were very proud of him, and my mother and father particularly. Of course, I was as well too, as a 6-year-old. So we made that journey. You mentioned now it's this is not only a great opportunity for me, obviously, but it's a genuine privilege to be managing the Republic of Ireland, have this opportunity to do it. I obviously want to make the most of it, want to do well in the job, but I want to do well in every job that I've been involved in. But here is this opportunity, and I will give it absolutely everything I can.
The other thing that struck me in your press conference was you mentioned the identity and giving the team an identity, and it struck me as well that your own identity is this remarkable story, and how the country has moved on to have the captain of Northern Ireland managing the Republic now. I think it's personally a brilliant thing.
Well, I think that you get back to the word identity. Every manager has I suppose has thoughts on how they want to play. Jackie Charles might have been different from Mick McCarthy. Mick McCarthy might have been different from Sir Trapattoni, from a Republic of Ireland viewpoint, and myself. Yeah, I think that if you tell me that there's just something lost a little bit, and maybe the fervour has just gone out a little bit, then obviously I'd like to try and reignite that. But this is no slight on Trapattoni whatsoever. The most enormous respect for him as a manager. He has done it, and for about a look could have been celebrating qualification in two tournaments really, but overall it's trying to put my own stamp on things here, and that stamp I want to be successful.
Can you talk to us about that stamp, and how do you describe the identity of the teams that you've put out over the years?
Well, I think that doesn't everybody set out with this idea of winning football games with great panache and great style, and somewhere along the way there's a bit of realism sets in, and it never works out in that manner unless suppose you're Barcelona, but with the players that we have, we've got some stalwarts still around at this minute at international level, and we've got one or two up and coming young players who are very talented indeed. And I'm hoping over the time that we can allow those players to flourish, and maybe the young lads helping the older members, and vice versa. So it's that mixed up with what I would think is really inherent in the squad, this burning desire to qualify for the Euros in 2016. Hopefully a combination of that certainly helps and gives you a head start. Does it guarantee you anything? Not really, but the rest is really up to us.
That's not a description which is kind of bound by a particular tactic or a formation or any of that kind of stuff.
I think that is right. I will devise that. I'll have a little look at this here. I think at this moment it might be just before you to start implementing plans that you want to see through for the next 2 years. There'll be things that I think that will set out in this game against Latvia that I'm hoping will still remain throughout the 2 years. But of course there'll be chopping and changing. There'll be little things that we think we can deal with better. All of that there is in the process of the next 2 years. Eventually the aim is to qualify. How we get through, would be entirely up to us.
Last question: were you surprised in a way by the whole hoo-ha at the appointment of Roy?
About Roy? Absolutely not. Not at all. I would have been terribly disappointed if it had been anything else but, seriously, he's a world-class footballer, one of the best players who has ever played in the Premiership, and of course everybody's aware of what happened 11 years ago in that World Cup, but I think that is now over. I think that people, I hate this phrase but I'll use it, people have moved on since then, and certainly John Delaney has welcomed his appointment as my assistant. That's very, very important, and Roy particularly wants to do it. He wants to become the assistant manager, and I think and his enthusiasm and drive are there for all to see. I wouldn't want to change that at all.
We wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thanks,
Okay,
man.
pleasure.